Let's continue to read John chapter 4. Jesus talks with a Samaritan woman. The Pharisees heard that Jesus was gaining and baptizing more disciples than John, although in fact it was not Jesus who baptized, but his disciples. When the Lord learned of this, he left Judea and went back once more to Galilee. Now he had to go through Samaria, so he came to a town in Samaria called Sychar, near the plot of ground Jacob had given to his son Joseph. Jacob's well was there, and Jesus, tired as he was from the journey, sat down by the well. It was about the 6th hour. When a Samaritan woman came to draw water, Jesus said to her, "Will you give me a drink?" His disciples had gone into the town to buy food. The Samaritan woman said to him, "You are a Jew, and I am a Samaritan woman. How can you ask me for a drink?" For Jews do not associate with Samaritans. Jesus answered her, "If you knew the gift of God and who it is that asks you for a drink, you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water." "Sir," the woman said, "you have nothing to draw with, and the well is deep. Where can you get this living water? Are you greater than our father Jacob, who gave us the well and drank from it himself, as did also his sons and his flocks and herds?" Jesus answered, "Everyone who drinks this water will be thirsty again, but whoever drinks the water I give him will never thirst. Indeed, the water I give him will become in him a spring of water, welling up to eternal life." The woman said to him, "Sir, give me this water so that I won't get thirsty and have to keep coming here to draw water." He told her, "Go, call your husband and come back." "I have no husband," she replied. Jesus said to her, "You are right when you say you have no husband. The fact is, you have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. What you have just said is quite true." "Sir," the woman said, "I can see that you are a prophet. Our fathers worshipped on this mountain, but you Jews claim that the place where we must worship is in Jerusalem." Jesus declared, "Believe me, woman, a time is coming when you will worship the Father neither on this mountain nor in Jerusalem. You Samaritans worship what you do not know. We worship what we do know, for salvation is from the Jews. Yet a time is coming, and has now come, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in spirit and in truth." The woman said, "I know that Messiah called Christ is coming. When he comes, he will explain everything to us." Then Jesus declared, "I who speak to you am he." Wow. Okay, so there's a lot here. Sermon upon sermon. This is amazing. "Sir," the woman said, "I can see that you are a prophet." From what he just told her, this is what he said. Because she replied, "I have no husband." And then he said, "You're right when you say you have no husband. The fact is you have had 5 husbands, and the man you now have is not your husband. What you have just said is quite true." So, according to what we know from history, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, this person kind of a woman who is not tied down to one person. And so not necessarily just promiscuous maybe. And so, however, say she knew of God and she knew her family and she worshiped God in Samaria because remember, Samaritans were people that they didn't know, weren't quite sure if they were part of the original families because of lost records, but they were also people who came back from the exile that had married into other places. So the Samaritans were a group of people that the Jews they were within Israel, but they weren't necessarily a part of Israel. They made them separate, but they still worship God as well. Just they couldn't worship in Jerusalem. They had to worship in Samaria. And so that's what she was explaining to Jesus. Jesus already knew this. And then Jesus went to tell her, this is bringing past to present. Listen to this, because this is so important. Yet a time is coming and has come, and has now come, when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and truth, for they are the kind of worshipers the Father seeks. And when we get to Galatians, we're going to understand what the Spirit is, more of that, the fruit of the Spirit. God is spirit, and his worshipers must worship in spirit and in truth. That's right. Each and every one of us is spirit. We have a spirit. Though these bodies may get old and age and flesh, right? And decay and die, we are spirit. More will be revealed when we get to Revelations. We are to worship in the Spirit. But what does that mean? If you don't know, continue on with us so we can understand more and more as we go on. Before we go on, though, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind when we read over this? How does it make you feel and what does it make you think?